just go to the three dots.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, it'll shoot me a recording and then I'll post that back to WhatsApp right after the meeting. And if the notes, pop out, then I'll post those as well. Um,
Yeah,
but
that's amazing. Thanks for doing it.
oh yeah, no problem. I I have all kind of like maybe they're OCD hangups about about things like when I'm in school or working or something that if I can figure out how to make it simpler for myself, then I try to do that. That's a pretty shot. Where's that?
Oh, it's just from Zoom.
Oh, okay.
It's one of the background.
Oh, okay.
I, I like it so that in very formal or official meetings, people can relax.
Yeah. Yeah. That's I like water for that too. That's why I picked this one. This is a picture I took when I lived in
Yeah.
Chicago, but
Oh,
neither here nor there. But
yeah, it's very beautiful. I almost thought it was Seattle. My cousin lives there, and the photo I saw. Anyway, it didn't have that many boats, but it looked similar.
yeah, it's pretty there too. Yeah, Puget Sound is pretty in Washington. It's been a
Yeah.
long time since I've been there.
Where are you at the moment?
I am in North Carolina, in
Oh,
Mooresville. Yeah,
cool.
so yeah, it's 11 a.m. here.
Yeah, that's not too late. Too early, sorry. Mm.
There's Alyssa. Let me admit
Yeah.
her.
I've been to Charlotte and in North Carolina and boom.
So I live about 20 miles from Charlotte. Yeah, that's where I live. Hi, Alyssa.
Hi, Lisa.
It's good to see
Morning,
you.
guys. Good to see you guys too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're finally having a conversation.
I
Uh,
know.
how about that? I am recording Alyssa and Michael. Hi, Michael.
Oh,
And I also have, I was telling Jean, I have notes turned on for the first time. So I don't really know how it works, but it's supposed to capture everything we say
cool.
by person, and then it's supposed to kick out a summary at the end, which I will share both the recording and the notes if I don't accidentally delete the notes, which I've been prone to do, just because I'm not familiar with it yet. But anyway, let's give. I don't know who else said they could come. I know Jillian and Mike were clear that they could not come. Has anybody heard from our editor? What's Katie?
Yeah, Katie should probably be. Let
Yeah,
me just tell them that we're on.
okay.
I'm gonna pull up questions here.
So I think would she be the only person we're waiting for then? And then I don't remember her confirming about the time, so it might just be us.
Yeah, I don't think she did.
Yeah, that's okay. We can at least start this process, and if we have to meet again or whatever. Have you guys read the instructions? for the
I
podcast?
have. I just pulled it up again. That's what I was.
Yeah, yeah, me too.
Um,
Would you
Same.
like to share? You can share with.
I don't know. We need to share it. We could just talk about
Yeah,
it or whatever, however you guys, does anyone necessarily want to lead this discussion?
maybe we could pray, we could pray about it. We could pray to start the meeting.
Sure.
Great.
Yeah, so thank you, God, for helping us finally have this meeting. And even for those that are not able to join us, I pray and I speak a blessing over them. And even I think Michael was traveling. I pray for a good time with the family, and even for us here as we deliberate and parcel out the work. I pray that Holy Spirit, you will just guide us, and this project will be successful to the glory of your name. In Jesus' name, Amen.
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 Okay. Um, well, I could just start share my thoughts. I'm open to anyone else to share their thoughts about the movie. It's interesting to me. I had seen the movie before a long time ago when it came out, and I remember it being worse uh, then. So I don't know what that says about me, but I remember it being quite a lot to take on. But uh, I thought, I didn't realize it was Denzel Washington's directorial debut either. That was the first movie that he wound up directing. But in terms of the storyline, I thought, this is an excellent film. It's an amazing story. The instructions kind of highlight on the second page in bullets towards like the middle of the page, like what the paper is supposed to address. And it starts out talking about, well, we need to talk about the storyline and how it relates to mentoring. So I think that's probably maybe a section that someone could take on. And then it talks about any subplots, you know. Um, and then the second bullet, so how many of us is it? Like seven? But
Um,
we don't count the editor because the editor is going to pull stuff together, I guess. I don't know if we're supposed to count the editor, but I'm thinking if we can find a way to create six buckets, then
I
we
thought we
can.
are 8 members in the WhatsApp. That means we should be 7 of us, excluding the
seven.
editor.
There's seven excluding.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
well, because never mind. I thought the TA was on here too, but I don't think she is.
I think the
yeah. I'm
TA
going
is
by
in
the
the
WhatsApp.
chat. Yeah,
Okay, so then
it's
there's
on
six.
WhatsApp. So there's
Oh,
Okay.
six of
okay,
us. Yeah.
okay.
There's six of us, not counting Katie, right? Okay.
Yes, because there's eight total
So can we agree that we should try to find six
sections.
sections for this paper,
Yeah,
and then each of us get one, and then whatever's left, that's what Jillian and Mike get.
sure. Sounds good to
Yeah.
me.
Cool.
Sounds good.
All right.
Question. In the beginning,
Mhm.
Katie asked about Ivana. Is she still in our group?
I don't think so. I
Okay. I
I
just wanted to
think,
make sure before we go through all this.
yeah, no, I
'Cause
I
I
hear
never heard
you.
anything after that. So, okay.
Um, so there's this first section about the story, and I don't know, do we want to discuss the movie in general, uh, or or would you rather come up with the sections and then discuss the movie so that we get some sort of so that when we go to write, we have some sort of idea of how everyone else is gonna what they're gonna write about. So I guess my question now is, do we want to discuss the movie in general, or do we want to identify the sections first and then discuss the movie? and I'm
Maybe,
open either way.
maybe identify sections.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, me
I
too. I
was
think
leaning that
so.
way too. That's why I jumped right in. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Um, all right, so let's say the first bucket is the storyline with the subplots. Is that good?
Yeah.
Yeah,
As I
that's
look at
fine.
this list, and then
I'll go grab my notes real quick.
sure, we can hold
Mm,
on. Um, and certainly the types are going to be a section, the dynamics are going to be a section, the lessons are going to be a section. Yeah, one,
mm,
two, three, four, five. Maybe the dynamics.
yeah.
Maybe the dynamics might be two people. So section one is the storyline. Um, I, I, and then I'm proposing that there is a section for types, mentor types that appear in the movie.
Yeah, it does. Actually, I wanted to do that one. But when we decided,
I'm sorry?
yeah, the types. I'm happy to do types when we all pass out the work.
Oh, okay. So Gene wants to do types. I'm for everybody doing what they want is best we can work it out. Um, and then there's dynamics, which might be kind of involved because there's a lot of dynamics here, and that might be two people. But so that's storyline, types, dynamics, lessons, cultural factors, contextual factors, um, of which I thought trauma informed care might be
Mm,
a context to talk about in this movie. There's quite a bit of abuse that happens in this movie, and that might have a bearing on how we interpret how the mentoring actually took place. It was my initial thought. So, how many buckets is that? Storyline. Um, this second bullet says describe ways in which the film illustrates story-centric mentoring. Is that separate from the storyline bucket to you guys?
We could probably put it into one because it's I mean, that's basically saying how they shared each other's stories. So I can't imagine that would be a huge section.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
thought that too.
I can do the first two if you want me to.
Okay, so
Easy.
Alyssa has the first bucket, Jean has the second bucket.
I
There's
could take on dynamics.
okay. Michael has the third bucket. Um, I could try with lessons.
And we
I,
can also share what we learned with each other if we're struggling too. Like if somebody has if they're like, hey, I can't think of anything, or like I saw it this way, but maybe it means this. Like
yeah,
I
I
think
think
once we start writing, we'll be able to kind of talk about it more. I may actually watch it again because I'd never seen the movie and I thought it was so good. I liked
yeah.
it a lot.
I had said the same thing. It's like after we have the meeting, I'm gonna watch the movie
I
again.
know because they give you 48 hours, and I'm like, give us a week to like.
Yeah, yeah. I thought the same thing, Alyssa.
Yeah,
Okay. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna sign up for lessons, and then we have it's an extra, but maybe
That means Mike will get cultural and contextual factors, I
and
guess.
Jillian has to
Oh
find
yeah.
we have to find a spot for Jillian, which she may just want to tag along with lessons or like me and Michael's bucket. What do you think, Michael?
Yeah, yeah, that's totally fine. I mean, there's seven dynamic or six dynamics.
Yeah, there's six of them. So I thought maybe, I mean, if we had more people than buckets, then maybe
Yeah.
that was a one we could double up on.
Yeah, because I feel like mine, the first two, they're kind of going together. And I'll just explain it as like one thing.
Yeah.
And will the
Unless I
editor,
missed some big thing in the movie.
sorry, will the editor do like the intro and conclusion? Is that what we're saying?
I think that's what it says. Let me
I
see.
I think that's I hope yeah, that's what I thought was happening because
Uh, the editor will
that's
pull together the ideas of the other group members and add his or own thoughts to make it a cohesive report and add an introduction and conclusion. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
yeah. All right. Well, the hard part's over. I think we're set. Um, yeah, I think we're set. So, anyone want to share their thoughts on the movie? Just to get a little discussion going, because the others are going to hear our recording and maybe it helps them with their part too, what they have to write, and maybe we help ourselves with what we have to write. And I'm happy to begin if no one wants to, but
Yeah, sorry, Taryn, I was going to nominate you as our coordinator because there's a role.
uh
So there's a teacher, and then the coordinator is the one who motivates the group members to work together and reminds them to submit their work so that the editor can complete the project. And there's a forum. I don't know where this film collaboration forum is to to coordinate and share ideas and upload the work. Oh, on Canvas, I think.
oh, okay. Oh, so I didn't realize there was another position. All right, well, there you go. Okay. So, if we got to write that down anywhere, it's okay. I can be a coordinator. Yeah. Uh, I thought, so obviously, Colonel Davenport is the primary mentor of, gosh, what was his, Fisher,
Antoine Fisher.
Hmm.
Seaman Fisher. And, I thought there were others, though, other mentors there. So I thought the girlfriend was a mentor, a peer mentor.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I thought his uncle,
Mm.
who took him to see his mother, just for that moment, just for
That's
that
really
scene, especially because of the dialogue that happened between them before they went inside. He
fun.
said, "You're going to make sure nothing happens to me in here, right?" And that really stood out to me. And he went in with him, and when his safety was assured, he left them alone, which I thought was pretty insightful for him, the uncle. So I thought he was also a mentor. Um, did y'all see any more mentors there? What
Well, I
about,
think the extended family, you know, becomes like community mentoring,
yeah.
um, like that mentoring network,
Mm-hmm.
for him, and then also the influence the mentee had on the mentor, towards the
Yeah.
end.
The end.
That's great.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it
What,
wasn't just one directional. It ended up being bi-directional.
I
and
liked
what,
that too about how he opened up at the end.
Hmm.
Uh,
oh yeah.
how he
Yeah.
told him like, you really helped me become a better teacher and a better husband. Because he was having issues with his wife, but I think only we saw that. No one else in the movie did. So
So,
Yeah,
hey,
interesting.
maybe that's a subplot. That what was happening with him with
Hmm.
Davenport.
Hmm.
Maybe that's a subplot. I also thought the friend Jesse, the one that got killed in
right.
the
Yeah.
heist,
Oh yeah,
I thought he might be like when they were younger. Certainly not once they were
right.
older, but because he opened his home to him, he fed him, he gave him a place to stay. Maybe there was something going on there. I don't know in terms of creating that safe space that mentors often provide or have to provide.
One thing I liked is like how you could tell the trust just built and built and built. Like he would avoid questions or like not give the direct answer, and then he would tell him more of his trauma, and then so it kind of like built up. I thought the scene was interesting when he told him about Jesse because he was like, our time's come to a close, basically. And I liked how Fisher went back and reflected on that and actually took his mentor's advice, even though at first he was angry, and like how it really flourished their relationship beyond just mentoring. It became more of a friendship than like a back and, like strictly mentoring.
Yeah,
I thought that was a really cool ending.
that's good. The evolution of their relationship
Mhm.
beginning like he wouldn't even talk at first.
When I wrote that, I was talking about how like sometimes I'm in a chaplaincy class at the same time, and she talks about how just sitting in silence and not trying to get someone to talk and just being patient actually really builds trust. And
Hmm.
so that in the beginning was one of the first things I noticed. So he was just patient with him, and he sat there. And when he offered him his chips, like he was just really patient with him to build that trust.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that was really good. It helped him because most of the adults in his life have betrayed that, right? Like have betrayed
Mhm.
that trust, and it was Davenport's way of like saying, "Hey, I'm gonna be here, and you just take the time you need, to show up that consistency there." Yeah,
Yeah.
I really like that part too.
Yeah, and also when so I think Denzel was more, and I forgot. I imagine I forgot his name on the set. What was his character?
Davenport,
Denzel. What's that?
Davenport.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I feel like yeah. So you all have said he's a mentor. So he was a counselor, and the therapy, the therapy sessions had to come to a close at some point. And I think because of the trauma that Alisa was alluding to, and all of you have talked about, um, he really Fisher found it very difficult because of the betrayal. Um, yeah, and then you know, but then he had to finally communicate. Denzel had to tell him, like, yeah. And so that part for me, the struggle, and then how it all worked out in the end anyway. He still got invited to dinner, and he created a space. He was curating a safe space and even introduced him to his wife. And I
Hmm.
think even the wife had a role to play in making him feel included when the family was mean to him. I don't know
That's
if she was a type of mentor.
perhaps, yeah, because she commented that she thought he was charming and got Davenport to invite him to dinner. So yeah, I think that's good. I also wanted to mention there was a literary mentor. So Davenport introduced him to some books in the course of their counseling sessions. And I think the one that he referenced when he was talking about the history of the beatings
Mhm.
that occur in our community. Um, and then he introduced him to the writings of Marcus Garvey. And I think that, that's a type of literary mentor. Like we read a lot of books. These that we're reading now, or these are
Yeah,
in way could be literary mentors for us. So in that way, um, I think there was also that present as a way of mentoring that was happening in the movie. I keep going back and
brilliant.
forth because y'all are making me remember stuff
No,
that
that's brilliant. I had totally forgotten it, and I'm an author.
I think one thing I'll include too, I don't know how to put it in, but just the redemption he had in the end, like his moment when he faced off with Mrs. Tate, because he was respectful. Like he
all
could have
that
been so
stuff.
nasty. He could have
Yeah,
been, I mean, most people would have not handled his situation with that much grace and class and just humility.
yeah,
And just how he stood his ground. He had his redemption. Like he believed in himself, just like all these things that came to flourish. And he
Mhm.
really got his moment of like, you did not break me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know where I'll include that, but like that's something that I thought was pretty cool or pretty powerful in the way he did it, which
Yeah.
speaks to both his relationship with his mentor and like his growth. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I also like the in this looking at it the story centric, the Navy, saw Antoine or Fisher as his problem was his anger or
yeah,
the fighting, but Davenport saw the bigger picture. Like, okay, this is a symptom of something there's a larger story at play here.
yeah,
And he really uh gave that space to see the hidden chapters of that story, to not, reduce him to his anger. I mean, he did challenge him, right? Because it's not he challenged him to not just not take responsibility, but also allow him to see that there's a bigger story at play.
to heal and grow. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I just thought like he also, Davenport, realized that his work was so superficial with 3 sessions. And I think because it sounded like that's the rules of the Navy, 3 only. And he like took this on as his personal time and not just something that he felt
Yeah. I think he's
morally
Yeah.
like aligned with.
I think he stepped in as, there was something of a Barnabas touch there, um,
Mm,
where once he got in trouble again, and they
Hmm.
called him to the ship. They called
mm,
Davenport to the ship, so he obviously had put himself in between the Navy and its rules and how to engage this sailor, um, because instead of throwing him into the brig, which is what should have happened in the Navy for what he did, they called Davenport. And
yeah.
and yeah, I think he played Davenport played several roles over the progression of this mentoring experience. But yeah, he sponsored him in that way, like Barnabas stood up to the apostles about Saul. So, uh,
Yeah. I was gonna
You
write
could see one of the attraction dynamic there, where initially they were brought in just because of Navy, but as it was just pointed out, he saw it necessary or the desire to go further beyond that in that
yeah,
relationship.
I think that's key to the whole thing, that he did not just stay safe within the confines of the guidelines of the institution that they both belong to.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Another mentoring subplot may just be friendship because I forget what his one friend that was like across his bunk. Um, he was the only one that seemed really nice and didn't pick on him in the Navy.
Mhm.
And outside of that,
Yeah.
he didn't have any friends. And so, like, learning to trust an adult that wouldn't leave him, also building friendship and trust, learning how to date women, which is
Hmm.
also a friendship too, right? So, like,
Yeah.
just seeing him navigate the waters of friendship in his life when he had never had that outside of his one friend who essentially also kind of lied to him. He
Hmm.
was like, "You're my best friend, just have my back," and didn't tell him what he was going to do. Um, I think that's another really strong subplot is just like
That's
the
really good.
value of friendship
Yeah.
and like how he built that in a healthy way instead of like towards the end, obviously whoever picked on him didn't get to him, but that I could imagine that would also be very lonely without.
So what
He
are
must have felt very lonely in the beginning, is what I
oh,
meant.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. No, you're good.
Um, so what are some lessons that y'all can think of? Just a couple.
Nobody can break you. The value of mentoring too. Like I think that's a lesson in itself because some
Yeah, I was
people
gonna say
think
that.
they need mentors or they, like in the article we had to write about that they're looking for a father figure, which in a way I think Seaman Fisher kind of was subconsciously, but it was also professionally done because Davenport was a psychiatrist, or I mean, he took him on as a mentor too, but I think just the value of mentoring is a huge lesson in itself. Like this is a great example of that, how it can really truly change lives if both the mentor and the mentee are both fully in.
Yeah.
And I think the mentor, the way it went both ways. Mentoring is two ways. It's a two-way relationship, and even the mentee had an impact on the mentor and helped him, even though it was not like overt in the in the film, but he helped him in a way process his own pain, and he handled them. The Davenport handled it well, and not, as we talked about in the last like this class, that he didn't do it in, like upfront when the mentee, as he didn't abuse. He could have easily abused his time with the mentee and started now going about processing his own trauma, but he disclosed it towards the end when they were more comfortable. So yeah, two-way.
That's good.
I think the power of forgiveness too, because if he would have held on to all that trauma, it would have broke him. It would have affected his first real relationship, which in the movie it seems like they end up together, which is what I want to think. So, just the power of forgiveness and like how God weaves that through our life for a reason.
I'm working through thinking through a lesson about facing family too, because he
That
would not well, I'm sorry.
I was going to say for him, like that had to be so overwhelming.
Yeah.
How do you navigate it?
Once Davenport started to hear his story and realize how traumatic his experience was, he did not relent and just make an easy way for Fisher to move forward. He kept telling him, "You have got to go find your family. And even if you get there and find that it's something that you can't, abide, like with his mom."
Yeah.
He said it's okay if I don't talk to her anymore, but he was able to make a case to her about who he became despite her rejection, abandonment, whatever it is he felt from her. And I think facing that is I don't know how to put it yet, but facing that is somewhere there's a lesson that you can't move on to create whatever family you're going to create, because we all do that. We're human. We all create family. But you can't move on to do that well until you face whatever
Past
your
pain, maybe.
history. Yeah. Yeah. So you don't have to act like it didn't happen, but you do have to face it.
And I think it gave him some sense of closure too. Like
Yeah.
I can't imagine he didn't express what expectations he had, but it gave him closure to be able to forgive and move forward. And I
Yeah.
think once he saw like his mom's environment, that probably painted a role. And like I was surprised she didn't talk at all to him. That kind of made me sad. But just how he handled it, like, and stood up for himself. But he was so kind and gentle to her when she had literally destroyed his life.
Yeah.
So I think that shows a lot about him too.
Yeah. And I think her silence says a lot about the shape the space she never could escape.
Yeah.
Yeah, she couldn't.
And the shame, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
I
and she
also think
didn't
that
look like she was. Sorry, Michael, go ahead.
sorry, no, I was just gonna say that, although we're looking at it from a mentoring like perspective, and Davenport does play that role, he's also a psychiatrist. And I think there's an importance of like mentoring cannot replace therapy. And
yeah.
there's a distinction there between like, those that need therapy, but also, could use mentoring, but that mentoring is not therapy.
Yeah, and that they can coexist. That's a really good point. Or a
Yeah,
good
That's a good
that
point.
is. That's good,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
That is. That's good, Michael. Thank you. Wow. Any other thoughts? This was
Um,
really effective.
unhealed trauma can lead to anger. Not
Yeah.
dealing with life's problems does
Mhm.
not serve you well. I don't know if that's a lesson, but it kind of is.
Oh, it's a lesson.
Yeah, I was gonna say, oh yeah, listen, it's a lesson.
I don't know if this is another micro theme um of mentoring, but just also how mentoring provides not a safe haven, but it seems like his whole life was in isolation, right? Like he lost everything, socially isolated, didn't tell anyone his emotions or his trauma. So just how that can play a role and like allow him to break out of that isolation, like the growth process. I don't know if that's a lesson or what that is, but I just think that's really just his growth over the whole movie was really cool. And the fact it's based on a true story makes it that much better.
Mhm.
Mhm. I think who's around you, and makes it obvious, like you're influenced by your environment or who you spend time with. And so I think that Diamond came just in time because he was surrounded by a lot of toxicity. The friends were not, the colleagues in the Navy were, um, they were, yeah, a toxic environment and negative people around him. And yet now he had this mentor who, yeah, changed that dynamic. And yeah, and also the girlfriend was quite encouraging. You
Mhm.
need someone, a peer who's around you. I feel like that's the only time he was happy, that time he was in the Navy. And he would see her and smile and go on a date and feel normal again.
I think that speaks to the power of the group mentoring um, dynamic that one-on-one is good, but the opportunity that peer mentoring provides um, really, really does add, I think, things that cannot come from a primary mentoring sort of one-on-one relationship. So yeah, I think that's good. That's good. There's a lot to work with here.
Yeah, one last thing is how mentoring can help break the cycle because I'm thinking how, you know, Seaman Fisher kept saying, like, does this mean I'm going to end up bad? Or does this mean I'm going to end up like, is there hope for me to have a good future? Like when he was talking about his girlfriend, right? Because he'd never been with that. And the only woman he'd been with, like, sexually abused him as a little child. And so
Hmm.
just showing like the value of redemption and like you can break the cycle. You don't have to be where you came from or be what happened to you, and you can become a good, successful, kind, not angry person.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love that.
yeah. And that's the realization he brought all the way back to the source
Hmm.
of his trauma, which was his mom, in a way.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because
made it
he
full
because he
circle.
made a case for himself, all these
Yeah,
things.
well, me, a lesson that I learned, I know in movies are full of like encouraging. It's not a Christian movie, so I was just a bit like, okay, so Denzel joined the rest of the people saying, like, sorry, the fact that he hadn't had intimacy with a woman, and then joined in the rest of the crowd, like saying, yeah, it's good, and congratulated him when he came and said, yeah, that he did it. If it was a Christian film, I would have been like, the lesson is, yeah, to uphold your purity, and the mentor's role is supposed to be that. So, yeah, that's just a side note of what I observed, more like an observation.
Any other thoughts? Any other burning revelations that have come to mind? This is really good. I think this gives us a lot. Michael, did you want us to try to go through um, the dynamics at all or you feel pretty good about that?
No, yeah, we can talk about them. I mean, I'd love different inputs for sure.
Okay. Um,
List here.
let's see the list. So I don't know if you guys,
Affinity,
yeah.
mutuality, relationality. Number three, safety, learning posture, attentiveness, and impact.
Definitely our safety, as you pointed out, I think all of the points.
I'm sorry, say that. Say it again, Jane.
Safety, I think there was safety. I think both of you, all of us pointed that out. Safety. Um, yeah. Um, Safety in safety in terms of like he created the mentor created a safe space for him to share such deep and emotional things. And yeah, although it took time. So I think that definitely was a dynamic. And then the relationship, where it talks about cultivating, Clinton talked about cultivating and care. So there was building of trust, and
Mhm.
that took time. That took time, and so that's I can definitely relate it to this film.
I think I think there's definitely an attraction and affinity uh between Fisher and Davenport. I think it was important that Davenport was a black man
Mm-hmm.
for him. I'm not sure that the movie would have unfolded the same way had Davenport been something else besides a black man. Um, I think there's lots of evidence of accountability. Um, whatever affinity Davenport had for Fisher, he maintained a boundary and held Fisher accountable. And while he was responsive even to the outbursts in the waiting room when
Yeah, that
he
was a good
called
point.
them out, he brought him in the office. He didn't respond or retaliate in kind in front of everyone. He brought him in the office and and he held him accountable all the way through. And towards the end, as they were coming to the end and a potential transition for the nature of their relationship from uh, mentor mentee into friendship, he empowered Fisher, or he Davenport empowered um, Fisher. Fisher took the posture, though it was hard for him to listen at first. He was silent for lots of meetings. It was hard for him, but he finally assumed the posture to receive from the mentor. And then eventually at the end of the movie, so did the mentor receive from the mentee, like we said earlier. So that dynamic, those dynamics were definitely present in the primary mentoring relationship. But I think also with the girlfriend, Cheryl, she listened and
Mm,
provided that safe space.
hmm
And because of her experience with her own father, was able to bring a compassion
Mm-hmm.
and a
hmm
kindness and a quiet sort of encouragement and empowerment to
And
him.
non-judgment too.
Oh,
hmm
that's really good. That's really good. Yeah, non-judgmental, and just to be with him where he was and even go with him for this big moment in his life where he faces his family.
hmm
Um, Yeah, so there were grace environments from Davenport, there were grace environments from Cheryl, and there were grace environments from the family, the extended family at the very end
Hmm.
of the movie. They invited everyone, it looked like, to the
Looked like the
house.
girlfriend set that up. That was really cute.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
sweet. He never had his own Thanksgiving dinner.
yeah, and they had breakfast, lunch, and dinner on
And
the
all.
table. It was amazing. Um, but yeah, I think there's lots of examples of, and I'm not sure the ones. I think the ones you're talking that you mentioned, Gene, are were in a lecture. I was looking at the ones, and maybe they're the same. I don't know, but I was looking at the ones in the instructions. The dynamics are attraction, relationship, attentiveness, responsiveness, accountability, empowerment, grace environments, and relationships. Did y'all see those too?
Oh yeah, they actually are on
Right.
there.
They're on the notes, and they're also so the lecture talks more, gives brief descriptors, which is helpful.
Yeah.
In slide 6 of the mentoring dynamics, according to Clinton. Clinton is just one. Clinton and Clinton is just one. There's another one. But I think we've exhausted.
Yeah. I
Quick
Yes.
question. So where
yeah.
are those his seven mentoring dynamics on here? But then like in his book, he talks about the affinity and the mutuality. Like that was from last week's lecture. Are those
Yeah,
different dynamics?
I just noticed that as
I
well. Because I
yeah,
thought there was six, but now I'm like, oh wait, there's seven.
Yeah, because last night on the assignment, he asked about the seven, but in the chapter 10 of his book, he talks about the six that were in the lecture. So now I'm
Right.
confused.
I
Yeah, and I wrote about six. I was like, oh,
I
maybe
did
it's a
too.
mistypo.
That's what I thought. Because that's what we learned that week.
7, because I think there's another one. The other
I
each time I think here.
I think
Well, I think writing about these seven mentoring dynamics will make it like flow a lot better
I
than
I think these I
Agreed.
think we
yeah.
use what's in the instructions for the paper and
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
go with it, is what I think we do, but I'm open. Um, all right. Anything else?
No, team, I'm sorry. I have to head out. I
Okay,
apologize.
no
But thank you
worries.
so much.
Yeah, thanks for
Take
Yeah,
care,
coming,
everyone.
thanks for
Michael.
your contribution, Michael.
Yeah, we'll
Thank
see
you.
you.
Have a great
See
day.
you.
All
Bye-bye.
right. We really can wrap up too. I don't know there's anything
Yeah,
else. Are we,
no,
I
do
think
you
not
this
feel
for
was
me.
really
good?
beneficial. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
thanks
right,
for
everyone.
coordinating, Taryn.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
I'll let this'll download. It'll take a few minutes, but I'll pop it back up in the chat in our WhatsApp. And then the notes too, so long as I don't mess around and delete them here. So anyway, I'm just kidding. Thanks you guys. This was great. It's good to be able
Great.
to talk to you face to face.
Yeah, it was great.
All right, take care. Have a
Bye.
great day.
You too.
All right,
Bye.
bye-bye. Let's see.